Hello and welcome. If you're watching this video, you might be feeling a bit lonely or isolated, and I want you to know that you're not alone in feeling this way. In fact, you're taking a positive step just by being here and looking for ways to feel more connected. Loneliness doesn't have to be an inevitable part of aging. While it's true that many people in their 70s experience social isolation, studies show that nearly 1 in 3 older adults feels lonely at least some of the time. There are meaningful and practical ways to build connections and find companionship. The feelings you might be experiencing are completely normal. Perhaps you've lost a spouse or close friends, maybe your children live far away, or perhaps health challenges have made it harder to get out and socialize. Whatever your situation, I want you to know that it's never too late to create new connections and rediscover the joy of meaningful relationships. Today, we're going to explore 10 practical strategies that can help you feel more connected and less alone. These aren't just theoretical ideas. They're real, actionable steps that thousands of people in their 70s have used successfully to build richer, more connected lives. Remember, small steps can lead to big changes. You don't need to transform your entire social life overnight. Even one meaningful connection can make a significant difference in how you feel each day. 1. Embrace technology to stay connected. I know. Technology can feel overwhelming. But hear me out on this one, because learning to use even basic technology can be one of the most powerful tools for connection, especially when physical distance or mobility challenges make in-person visits difficult. Let's start simple. Video calling platforms like FaceTime, Zoom, or Skype allow you to see the faces of your loved ones, not just hear their voices. There's something magical about seeing your grandchild smile or watching them show off a new toy during a video call. It makes the distance feel much smaller. Social media platforms like Facebook can help you reconnect with old friends and stay updated on family news. You can see photos, read updates, and even join groups of people who share your interests or experiences. For instance, there are Facebook groups for everything from vintage car enthusiasts to knitting circles to people who grew up in specific neighborhoods. Don't feel like you need to learn everything at once. Start with one platform or one type of technology. Many libraries and community centers offer free computer classes specifically designed for seniors. The instructors understand that you might need to go slowly, and they're patient with questions. If classes aren't available, consider asking a patient friend, family member, or even hiring a tech-savvy teenager in your neighborhood to give you a few lessons. Many young people are happy to help and earn a little spending money while doing so. Once you get comfortable with the basics, you might discover online communities related to your hobbies, former career, or life experiences. There are forums for retired teachers, groups for people who love gardening, and communities for those dealing with similar health challenges or life transitions. 2. Volunteer for causes you care about. Volunteering is one of the most effective ways to combat loneliness while making a positive impact in your community. When you volunteer, you're not just helping others. You're creating opportunities for meaningful connections with people who share your values and desire to make a difference. Think about what matters most to you. Are you passionate about education? Consider volunteering at a local school, helping children with reading, or sharing your professional expertise with students. Many schools have mentorship programs where experienced adults guide young people in career planning or life skills. If you love animals, animal shelters always need volunteers to help with feeding, grooming, walking dogs, or simply providing companionship to animals waiting for homes. The staff and other volunteers often become like family, and there's something incredibly therapeutic about the unconditional love of animals. Food banks and soup kitchens offer opportunities to directly help people in need while working alongside other compassionate volunteers. Many people find deep satisfaction in knowing they're helping ensure that families in their community don't go hungry. Museums, libraries, and cultural centers often need volunteers to give tours, help with events, or assist with educational programs. If you have knowledge about local history, art, or specific subjects, sharing that knowledge can be incredibly fulfilling. Religious organizations, regardless of your personal faith, often welcome volunteers for community service projects. You might help with clothing drives, community meals, or visiting homebound members of the community. The key is to find something that aligns with your interests and values. When you're passionate about the cause, the work doesn't feel like work, and the connections you make feel more authentic and lasting. Plus, having a regular volunteer commitment gives structure to your week and provides something to look forward to. 3. Join community groups and classes. Your community is full of opportunities to meet people with similar interests. You just need to know where to look and be willing to try something new. Senior centers are gold mines of social activity. Don't let the name put you off if you're not quite ready to think of yourself as a senior. These centers offer everything from fitness classes and game nights to educational lectures and social dancing. Many have regular coffee hours or lunch programs where you can meet neighbors and make new friends over a meal. Libraries have evolved far beyond just books. Most now offer book clubs, computer classes, author readings, craft workshops, and discussion groups on current events or local history. The atmosphere is welcoming, and librarians are great resources for finding activities that match your interests. Community colleges often offer continuing education classes designed for older adults. You might take a photography class, learn about local wildlife, study art history, or explore creative writing. The small class sizes make it easy to get to know your classmates, and having homework or projects gives you natural reasons to connect outside of class. Recreation centers and YMCAs offer fitness classes, swimming programs, and social activities. Water aerobics classes, in particular, are popular among older adults and tend to foster friendly, supportive communities. Don't overlook hobby-specific groups. If you enjoy gardening, look for local garden clubs or master gardener programs. If you love to read, search for book clubs at bookstores, libraries, or community centers. Card players can find bridge clubs, poker groups, or other game-playing communities. The key is to try several different activities until you find ones where you feel comfortable and enjoy the people you meet. Don't be discouraged if the first group you try doesn't feel like a good fit. Keep exploring until you find your people. 4. Reconnect with old friends. 2 minutes. There's something magical about reconnecting with people from your past. These are people who knew you in different chapters of your life. Perhaps when you were starting your career, raising young children, or pursuing dreams that may have taken different paths than you expected. Start by making a list of people you've lost touch with but would like to reconnect with. Think about former colleagues, neighbors from previous homes, friends from clubs or organizations you used to belong to, or even classmates from school. Don't worry if it's been years since you last spoke. Many people are delighted to hear from old friends and are often dealing with similar feelings of isolation. Social media can be incredibly helpful for finding people, but don't underestimate the power of more traditional methods. Try searching online white pages, reaching out through mutual friends, or even contacting alumni associations from schools you attended or companies where you worked. When you do make contact, don't feel like you need to explain the gap in communication or apologize for reaching out after so long. A simple, genuine message like, "I was thinking about you and wondered how you're doing," is often all it takes to restart a friendship. Be prepared that not every attempt at reconnection will be successful. People's lives change, and not everyone will be interested in or able to rebuild old friendships. That's okay. Focus on the connections that do work out. Sometimes these reconnections can lead to wonderful surprises. You might discover that old friends live closer than you thought, share similar current interests, or are going through life experiences you can relate to. Some of the most meaningful friendships in later life come from rekindling relationships with people who already know your history and appreciate who you are. 5. Consider getting a pet. A pet can be one of the most reliable sources of companionship, providing unconditional love, daily routine, and surprisingly, opportunities for social interaction with other people. Dogs are natural conversation starters. When you're out walking your dog, other dog owners will often stop to chat, ask about your pet's breed, or share stories about their own furry companions. Dog parks become social hubs where regular visitors get to know each other through their pets' interactions. If you're considering a dog but worry about the physical demands, think about smaller, less active breeds, Or consider adopting an older dog who may be calmer and require less intensive exercise. Many animal shelters can help match you with a pet that fits your lifestyle and physical capabilities. Cats can be wonderful companions too, especially if mobility issues make dog walking challenging. They provide comfort, routine, and affection without the need for outdoor exercise. Cat owners often connect at veterinary offices, pet supply stores, or through online communities dedicated to cat care and appreciation. If a full-time pet isn't feasible due to housing restrictions, health concerns, or financial considerations, there are other options. Many animal shelters desperately need volunteers to help socialize animals, assist with adoption events, or provide temporary foster care. Pet sitting for friends, neighbors, or through services like Rover can give you the joy of animal companionship without the full-time responsibility. Some communities have therapy animal programs where you can visit with trained animals at senior centers, hospitals, or other facilities. This gives you animal interaction while also connecting you with other animal lovers and the people you're helping to comfort. Birds can also make engaging pets, especially if you choose species known for their social nature and ability to interact with humans. The daily care routine and the joy of their personalities can provide structure and companionship to your days. 6. Explore faith-based communities. Religious or spiritual communities often provide some of the strongest support networks available, offering not just weekly gatherings but ongoing fellowship, community service opportunities, and pastoral care during difficult times. Even if you're not particularly religious or haven't attended services in years, many faith communities welcome people who are seeking fellowship and connection. You don't need to be a theological expert or have perfect faith. Most communities are happy to welcome people who are exploring or simply looking for community. Beyond weekly worship services, many religious communities offer study groups, social events, volunteer opportunities, and support groups. There might be potluck dinners, game nights, book clubs focusing on spiritual or philosophical topics, or community service projects that allow you to help others while building relationships. Many faiths emphasize caring for older members of the community. You might find people who are genuinely interested in your well-being, your life experiences, and your wisdom. Some communities have specific ministries focused on supporting older adults, offering things like transportation to services, regular phone check-ins, or help with household tasks. If organized religion isn't appealing to you, consider exploring other spiritual communities like meditation groups, Buddhist sanghas, or interfaith organizations that focus on social justice or community service. These communities often provide the same sense of belonging and shared purpose without requiring specific religious beliefs. Don't feel like you need to commit immediately to any particular community. It's perfectly acceptable to visit different places of worship or spiritual gatherings to see where you feel most comfortable and welcomed. 7. Attend local events and activities. Your community is probably offering more social opportunities than you realize. You just need to know where to look for information and be willing to step outside your comfort zone occasionally. Start by becoming a detective about local events. Check your local newspaper's community calendar, visit your library's bulletin board, and sign up for your city or town's newsletter or email updates. Many communities have Facebook pages or websites dedicated to local events and activities. Don't overlook simple events like farmers markets, which are social by nature. Regular vendors get to know their customers, and you'll often see the same people week after week. It's an easy way to start building casual relationships that might develop into friendships. Art shows, museum exhibits, and gallery openings provide natural conversation starters. Even if you attend alone, you can discuss the artwork with other visitors or ask the artists about their work. Many people at these events are interested in meeting fellow art enthusiasts. Community lectures, whether at libraries, colleges, or community centers, attract people with curiosity and interests in learning. Arriving a few minutes early or staying after the presentation gives you opportunities to chat with other attendees about the topic. Local festivals, concerts in the park, and seasonal celebrations create festive atmospheres where people are generally open to friendly conversation. Consider volunteering to help with these events, Volunteers often develop strong bonds through working together toward a common goal. Town hall meetings, city council sessions, or community planning meetings might not sound exciting, but they can connect you with neighbors who care about your community's future. These civic-minded people often become involved in other community activities where you might cross paths again. 8. Start your own group or activity. If you can't find a group that matches your interests, or if you're feeling particularly motivated to take initiative, consider starting your own group or regular activity. This approach has several advantages. You get to shape the group around your specific interests, you naturally become a central figure that others look to for organization, and you'll attract people who share your particular passions or needs. Starting a group can be simpler than you might think. Consider organizing regular coffee meetings with neighbors. Perhaps a monthly gathering at a local cafe where people from your neighborhood can get to know each other better. You could start a walking group that meets at a local park or track, combining exercise with socialization. If you have expertise in a particular area, whether it's your former profession, a hobby you've developed over the years, or life experiences that might help others, consider starting a discussion or support group. For example, if you're a retired teacher, you might start a group for other retired educators. If you've successfully navigated widowhood, caregiving, or other major life transitions, you could create a support group for others facing similar challenges. Book clubs are relatively easy to start and maintain. Choose books that interest you, set a regular meeting schedule, and invite friends, neighbors, or put up notices at the library or bookstores. Many independent bookstores are happy to help promote new book clubs and may even offer meeting space. Garden clubs, craft circles, game groups, or hobby clubs based on your interests can all be started with just a few interested people. Once you have a core group of 3 or 4 people, word tends to spread and others often want to join. The key to successfully starting a group is to be consistent, welcoming to newcomers, and flexible about how the group evolves. What starts as one type of gathering might naturally develop into something slightly different as the group's dynamics and interests become clear. 9. Maintain regular contact with family. Family relationships often require more intentional effort as we age, especially when physical distance, busy schedules, or generational differences create natural barriers to regular connection. But these relationships can be among the most meaningful and consistent sources of companionship in your life. Start by establishing regular communication patterns that work for everyone's schedules. This might mean weekly phone calls with adult children, monthly video chats with grandchildren, or regular text message check-ins with siblings or other family members. The key is consistency. When family members know they can count on hearing from you at predictable times, it becomes a valued part of their routine too. If you have grandchildren, consider the unique role you can play in their lives. You have time to listen to their stories, wisdom to share from your life experiences, and often patience that busy parents might not always have. Many grandparents find great joy in being the family historian, sharing stories about family traditions, telling tales about their grandchildren's parents when they were young, or teaching family recipes or crafts. Don't underestimate the power of sharing your own current activities and interests with family members. When you have volunteer work, hobbies, or social activities to talk about, conversations become more engaging and you avoid the trap of only talking about health problems or past memories. Technology can help bridge physical distances in remarkable ways. You might read bedtime stories to grandchildren over video chat, take virtual tours of your home or garden to show distant family members, or share photos of your daily activities to help them feel connected to your current life. Consider planning regular visits when possible, whether family members come to visit you or you travel to see them. Having these visits to look forward to can provide structure and anticipation that brightens the weeks or months in between. If family relationships have been strained or difficult, it might be worth considering whether there are ways to rebuild or improve these connections. Sometimes the perspective that comes with age can help us approach old conflicts with new understanding or forgiveness. 10. Practice self-compassion and seek professional help when needed. It's important to remember that feeling lonely sometimes is a completely normal human experience, and it's okay to acknowledge these feelings without judgment or self-criticism. Loneliness doesn't mean there's something wrong with you, and it doesn't mean you're failing at life or relationships. Be patient with yourself as you try new approaches to building connections. Some strategies will work better for you than others, and that's perfectly normal. You might try joining a group and discover it's not a good fit, or reach out to an old friend who doesn't respond. These experiences don't reflect your worth as a person or mean you should stop trying. Pay attention to your thoughts about loneliness and social connection. Sometimes we can be our own worst enemies, telling ourselves that we're too old to make new friends, that people won't be interested in spending time with us, or that we should be able to handle everything on our own. These thoughts can become self-fulfilling prophecies if we're not careful. If loneliness persists despite your efforts, or if it begins to significantly impact your mental health, sleep, appetite, or overall well-being, don't hesitate to reach out to a counselor or therapist who specializes in working with older adults. There's no shame in seeking professional help. It's actually a sign of wisdom and self-care. Many communities offer support groups specifically for people dealing with loneliness and social isolation. These groups can provide both practical strategies and the comfort of knowing you're not alone in your experiences. Sometimes just talking with others who understand what you're going through can be incredibly healing. Your doctor can also be a valuable resource. Sometimes loneliness and depression can go hand in hand, and there may be medical treatments that can help improve your overall mood and energy for engaging with others. Remember that building meaningful connections is a process, not a destination. Even people who seem very socially connected have moments of loneliness. The goal isn't to never feel lonely again, but to have strategies for connecting with others and resources to turn to when isolation feels overwhelming. Taking the first step. Now that we've explored these 10 strategies, you might be feeling a bit overwhelmed by all the possibilities, or perhaps you're excited about trying something new. Either reaction is completely normal and understandable. The most important thing is to take action, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. I encourage you to start small, perhaps with just one phone call to an old friend, attending one community event, or signing up for one class or activity that interests you. You don't need to transform your entire social life overnight. Building social connections takes time and effort, but I promise you that the benefits to your mental and physical health are immeasurable. Research consistently shows that people with strong social connections live longer, have better immune systems, lower rates of depression and anxiety, and maintain better cognitive function as they age. Choose one or two strategies that resonated most with you as you listen today. Maybe something reminded you of an interest you used to have, or perhaps you thought of someone you'd like to reconnect with. Trust those instincts and act on them within the next week if possible. Remember, many people your age are experiencing similar feelings of loneliness or social isolation, and most are just as eager to make new connections as you are. You're not alone in feeling this way, and you're certainly not alone in wanting to feel more connected to others. Be kind to yourself throughout this process. Some days will feel more successful than others, and some attempts at connection might not work out as you hoped. That's all part of the journey, and it doesn't mean you should give up. Your 70s can be a time of rich relationships and meaningful connections. This can be a decade of deepening existing friendships, discovering new interests that lead to new communities, and sharing your wisdom and experiences with people who appreciate what you have to offer. By being proactive about staying socially engaged, you're not just combating loneliness. You're creating opportunities for joy, growth, and fulfillment in this important chapter of your life. You have so much to offer others, and there are people out there who would be enriched by knowing you. The connections you make now can become some of the most meaningful relationships of your life. Don't underestimate the friendships that can develop when you share common interests, life experiences, or simply the desire to feel less alone in the world. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I hope you found these suggestions helpful and that you feel inspired to take at least one small step toward building more connection in your life. Remember, you deserve to feel connected, valued, and less alone. The effort you put into building relationships is an investment in your happiness and well-being that will pay dividends for years to come. Take care of yourself, be patient with the process, and remember, it's never too late to build meaningful connections with others.